we're still at very early stages of our communications. It's been barely over a month that I've decided to open up the archives and libraries of all the concepts and breakthroughs. A lot of this stuff was all secretive and kept under wraps because for years I've been following the model that is our paradigm in our capitalistic society, basically, which is when you have very valuable ideas, otherwise known as intellectual property in our society, that you guard and protect those ideas so that other people can't take your ideas and go and run with them and create what you had intended in the world instead of you, right? So I've had non-disclosure agreements with people for years, and still, even with the non-disclosure agreements, there was still only a certain level of things I would share with people and all kinds of things that I would not share with people. And now I'm sharing all of that with everybody all at once. So it's a really huge shift. It's very significant. There's a lot of content, a lot of details that I'll be getting out of my head and getting into video format primarily. There'll be written content too, but I've been working with my team of interns we've been developing new systems to process video effectively, quickly. It's what we're really working on now so that I can actually produce content like this, even, an hour, 2 hours, soon many hours a day of content, and have people on the team that can process it all and put it on the website and organize it and create compilation videos and all the things that we need to do to really be able to communicate the depth and complexity of all of these ideas to the degree that I've already developed them all, and ways that now in sharing with the world we can start to see a very clear path from where we are to a much brighter future. That it's super compelling, and I don't have to tell you in my words. I need to get that content out so you can see it. So we have just a little right now, but even with the draft of our 5 top breakthroughs and some of the other content that we're working with, you can get enough of an idea to see what we've got and the depth of what we've got and the significance of what we've got to really imagine like what this is going to look like. One of the things I'm going to do, just to wrap this up, is really focus on writing a book, like literally a book that'll be published and be a New York Times bestseller, to be able to organize it in a way that people are used to receiving it in a book format, and to be able to create that type of opportunity to then be on news shows talking about it and talk shows talking about it and all of that. And so really as quickly as possible. I don't know if ideally it would be before end of the year, before Christmas, to be able to allow it to be a Christmas book to be bought. That's so short, and it's really hard to imagine that I can get all of that done along with everything else before then. But it's an idea of where we want to go with this, and on the extreme side, potentially how quickly it could happen with enough support. And that's the thing, is we're just reaching out to bring in all the support, all the people that could want to help with anything. And that way it's not really coming down to me, it's just coming down to what the universe sends it and how quickly we can orchestrate it. And honestly, it's not going to be me that's going to be orchestrating and organizing everything that's coming in. I'm the one helping to put the message out and put the concepts out and share with you and the world what the vision is. And then it's all the other people on the team maybe you, maybe friends of yours, whoever it is, that then are going to be sorting through all of these resources and organizing them and creating projects and plans and tasks and nano actions and all the things that we need to do in order to be able to create an alternative that can really that can give us a chance of creating the world that we want to live in. Right now, there's next to no chance to have the world that we want to live in when, with COP26 days away, it's quite unclear, the impact that that's going to have on our future. And it would appear that even in a best case scenario, it's still dooming us to way above 1.5 degrees Celsius, if we want to use that as the measurement, which is what the Paris Climate Agreement was all about, was setting a target and saying we can't go past this 1.5 degrees. And right now we're on a path to blow past it, no matter what happens next week, essentially. So, if that's the future that we're looking towards right now within our current constructs of everything we can do, we've got to do better. We can't settle for the devastating future that our world looks like with just climates, not even getting into all the pollutions and all of these chemicals that are in our groundwater and all the air that we're breathing and all the pollution that we can't escape going into our bodies now, all of the plastics in the ocean on and on and on and on, the destruction of ecosystems from the Amazon to the coral reefs to the polar regions. It is literally insane. It is literally insane. And those of us that can have mental clarity for some moments enough to remember that all the time that we're not in that we're in a coping mechanism, that we're just, putting it out of our minds. I do it practically all day long. We have to. We can't exist all day long in this mental anguish of what's happening in our world. We have to put it out of our minds, set it aside, compartmentalize, put it away. And that's fine as long as we remember we're doing that enough to be in action, to do something to avoid it. We can't just be in that mode so much that we are just resigned to that future and we're not in action to prevent it or to create something different. The time is now for all of us to come out of our coping mechanism long enough to recognize that I need to be committed as much as I can to making a difference. And the way I can make the most difference is if I'm doing it cooperatively, collectively, with all these other people that feel similarly in a system that would organize all of us in the most effective and most efficient way to maximize the synergistic value and the long-term strategic needs that we have in all of these areas. So to connect the dots from the huge issues and having strategic plans, global strategic plans informed by the top experts, developed with all the stakeholders that are interested, to be able to collectively create solutions on a scale that's unrivaled on our planet right now in any issue area, and to do that relatively quickly in all issue areas, and have all of society that's interested in supporting to be able to do nano actions, to take these big strategic concepts and break them down into these projects that are managed by these different organizations, these different nonprofits that exist, each take on these different projects that are part of this collective strategic solution. And within those projects, they're broken down into actions, and within those actions, they're broken down into smaller actions until they get down to nano actions, where anybody that wants to support can perform these nano actions that together, collectively, cumulatively, are creating not only the actions that need to be actualized, but also the projects are getting done. They're contributing to the global strategic plan, and from the top to the bottom and everything in between, all of us are being organized in the ways that we need to in order to be able to give our best effort as a society. What I'm describing right now is simply what a best effort of our society would look like, and that's what we need right now.